That task force has been up and operational for several months now, and this year, that task force, 4 detectives from Suffolk, 4 detectives from Nassau County, 1 detective sergeant from Nassau, 1 from Suffolk, a total of 10 members, are doing a great job, and they've made 155 arrests. They've taken a lot of great cases, and they are doing a great job every day. It's a big win, and hopefully we'll see some results from that. Again, everything we look at in this department, I say it all the time, is evidence-based. Summons activity, again, is up this year over last year. This year, the summonses are at the highest level since 2009. We're looking at about 200,000 moving tickets. Again, the parking tickets are at the highest level since prior to 2009. And again, that's all driving safety on the roadways. One of the biggest challenges we have on the roadways now is the distracted driving. We provided some new vehicles that allow our highway police officers to actually see into the cabs of cars. They normally drive cars. We gave them some towers that they now can see in on the patrol roads, and they can do enforcement directed at that item. So that was a new initiative this year. Problem-oriented policing, major focus. You know, I heard you loud and clear last year. This body made it loud and clear that you want to get pop cops back. The public made it loud and clear. County executive made it loud and clear. So in late last year, we brought back 16 pop cops, and we formed a new COPE unit, which has about 10 police officers, for a total of 26 people that are dedicated to problem-oriented policing. I can give you countless examples, and you know, one of the things that we're doing is, you know, one of the things that they talk about policing, if you're not measuring it, if you're not looking at it, it's not working. So one of the items that we started, we did the first draft report, and we'll start publishing a new report, is a community policing report. The first draft report, we'll do this quarterly, and that'll talk about all of the community policing activities in the Nassau County Police Department. We'll make that report available to you as we go forward. Department town halls. So the department, at a department level, we're holding town hall meetings several times a year. We'll have one more meeting before the end of the year, which will be 3 in a 12-month period. Additionally, the COs of all the precincts are holding town hall meetings. What we find is that we get invited to a lot of community meetings, and it's important we're there. But the policing is only one issue within that. What we have now is a town hall meeting, where it's a meeting that we invite the community stakeholders to attend the meeting, and we want to grow this program, and we've grown it successfully. So 4 times a year, we will hold that meeting. Precinct advisory committees. Every precinct, all 6 precincts, have formed their precinct advisory committee. They meet with this small group of people. These are community stakeholders and community leaders, and they meet with them on a regular basis. Usually once or twice a month is what they're directed to meet with them. Citizens Police Academy, Youth Police Academy. We held the Citizens Police Academy this year. We plan on holding another one next year. It's a significant commitment. Everybody I've ever talked to that has invested the time, a number of elected leaders sitting on this body. I believe Legislator Gonzalez was the first elected leader. Legislator Rose Walker, Legislator Ford, Legislator Curran, Legislator Bino. So I would encourage you to participate, and we'll be doing it again next year. It's, again, a significant commitment, and if you have anybody in your community that you think would be a good fit, please let us know. Citizens Police Academy, Youth Police Academy. So Youth Police Academy is a 1-day program. It's really designed, we work with the schools, and we target at-risk kids. The kids that are lost, and the school identifies these kids, or the honest kids. This is really about targeting and building a relationship with those at-risk kids. The Police Explorers, honestly one of my favorite programs. This year, the Police Explorers, we notified you, I believe. If we missed you, please accept my apologies. So every other year, the Police Explorers compete in a national competition. And this year, 2 years ago, we sent them out, and they won 13 trophies. One of our explorers was the first runner-up for the spokesperson for the National Explorers. And we brought home the crown jewel of the competition, the post-order drill. So I had a little conversation 2 years ago with Haver and Gary Shapiro, Haver Espinoza, Gary Shapiro, Inspector Shapiro, Lieutenant Espinoza. I told them, well, next time you got to do better. I want 2 trophies in the close order drill, and I want to do better. So they laughed at me, and I said, no, I'm not kidding. I said, you only get one-way tickets, you'll get the other ticket when you come back. But all kidding aside, they went out and they brought home 17 trophies, and they came in first place and third place in close order drill. Being somebody that spent some time in the Marines, I will tell you that they are a very talented young person, and you can take that from where it's coming. You know, there's nobody that does it better than the U.S. Marine Corps when it comes to close order drill, anywhere. So, but that wasn't all. You know, over the summer, and it goes to show you just how valuable this program is. We really focus on at-risk kids in this program. And over the summer, Police Officer Rita Bob, one of our pop cops from the 5th Precinct, got a phone call from a mother. And Rita Bob's, you know, didn't realize who it was at first, and, you know, basically, I'm not going to say who or where, but this woman wanted to thank Rita Bob for saving her son's life. And her son was heading down the wrong path, and Rita got the son involved in the Police Explorers. And the son, not only did he straighten up and fly right, the kid graduated John Jay University in May, and now is going to a top-tier law school. So what I will tell you, and if you've heard me speak about the Explorers, and I say it all the time, is I have to tell you, you watch these kids come in, these young boys and girls come in when they're 14 years old, and you watch them grow, and you watch them leave their program as men and women. I hope every one of them become an Essex County police officer. They don't become an Essex County police officer, I hope they go into law enforcement. But I will tell you this, no matter what they choose to do in life, doesn't matter, they are tomorrow's leaders. They are truly the best and the brightest, and they have all the tools they need to succeed in life. I love the Explorers, in case you can't tell. You know, I gave you the new use of force policy. This is the second time that we've updated the use of force policy. So in the spring of 2014, we brought every single police officer into the Nassau County Police Department and we trained them on the new use of force policy then. And we knew that there was going to be some additional updates after that. It was the first time we updated the use of force policy since 2000, I don't know, since 1980s. It was over 30 years since we last updated the policy. So this is, just so you can put this in perspective, this is what the policy is now. And the policy 3 years ago was on a single piece of paper. And that was our use of force policy. So we spent a lot of time, we spent a lot of effort, literally spent thousands of hours rewriting it 2 years ago. We brought every single police officer in, we trained them on ethics, and the focus of the department is about improving relationships. We know we have the trust of the public, we know we have the trust of this body. We know that the department does a great job. So the polling results bear that out, where close to 80% of the public have trust in the Nassau County Police Department based on questions and a template that's used throughout this country. Unfortunately, what we also discovered was that in the minority community, that level of trust 2.5 years ago was only in the mid-60s. And while that is better than everywhere else, I, for one, won't be satisfied until we build up that trust to 100%, and we'll continue to work at that. A big part of that is how we use force. So 2 years later, you know, based on recommendations and work we did with PERF, and I will tell you this, that the PERF's best practices, this department was a big part of those best practices. If you look at the PERF publications, every single publication they came out with, members of this department are quoted. Myself, the Chief Department, Inspector Walsh. In their latest publication on training use of force, one of their academic editors was Assistant Commissioner Fox. So we have been a big part in the national stage in coming out with the best practices, and what we have now is a model practice for use of force for any agency. We are truly leaders in it. So some of the items that we have in there, and this is, first off, we have a consolidated book now that every single member gets. One of the other things we did was we eliminated a tool that's been in this police department from as long as since before my father was a police officer, and that was a slapper. We gave police officers other tools. They have extendable batons, and they have tasers, and we'll talk about them momentarily. The other thing is embedded in our use of force policy is de-escalation. We talk about the academy, we train our officers in it, it's always been there, but now it's embedded in the policy. One of the other major changes, and I won't belabor the point, we have talked about this a lot, but one of the other major changes is a duty to intervene, a rule, that if you see another police officer using excessive force, you have an obligation, a rule, that actually spells out that you have a duty to intervene. So we've changed the culture in that respect. The training now is all built on de-escalation. Everything works together in the training programs. And we're seeing the effect. Since the change of the policy, the number of police-involved shootings in this department 2 years ago, in the spring of 2014, has significantly been reduced. In 2014, we had 2 shootings. In 2015, we've had none. And in 2016, we've had none. So, knock wood. We haven't had any cops injured as a result. And, I think we are, again, everything we're looking at is about building trust with the community. Significant department initiatives. We have a significant number of construction projects, tasers, the roof, domain awareness system, new uniform systems, body armor upgrade, new rifles, new helicopters, ambulances, and cars. And I want to take a minute and personally thank every single member of this legislative body, because most of these projects would not be happening if not for your support. So there it is. 2nd Precinct Policing Center is under construction. We expect to occupy that building at the end of next year, as we previously testified. That'll occupy the 2nd Precinct Policing Center. We'll occupy it, as well as the Major Case Bureau, which consists of the New Burglary Task Force, the Gang Investigation Squad, Robbery Squad, CAP Squad, and the Electronic Squad. The building is 35,000 square feet, and there's a 15,000 square foot garage and warehouse that will be occupied by CAP Auto Crime and the Electronic Squad for storage in their specialty vehicles. That's the 4th precinct. If you haven't seen it, it's coming along, and again, we expect to occupy that by the end of the year. If you haven't seen the 1st precinct, take an opportunity to take a look, but the one significant change, again, is if you look at this garage area in that corner of the building. So what happens is, down in the 4th precinct now, going forward, when this building is built, a police car will pull into the garage and the prisoner will be removed, increasing the safety of the police officer, the prisoner, and the public at large. The 1st precinct. We're in the 1st precinct. There it is. We're occupying it. A couple of minor punch list items, but rave reviews about the building. The Intel Center. Law enforcement training and Intel Center. We expect to go to the bids on that in January of next year, with construction starting in the 1st half of next year. Just some photos, conference room, an Intel Center, and a standing classroom. Tasers. Right now, as of Friday this week, we'll deploy 850 tasers. By the end of this year, first week of January, we expect to have 1,200 tasers deployed. So that is moving along very quickly. The remaining, the gap is, we have a class of 150. We'll get the tasers when they graduate the academy. Detectives, we're training about 225 detectives between now and the end of the year on tasers. Additionally, we will be training approximately 50 field training officers, which gives you, if you add up all the numbers, gives you approximately 1,250 tasers will be deployed. We still, hopefully, will complete what we have in inventory, about 1,800 tasers in total, and we hope to have them all deployed and working on the remainder of the department next year. The Essex County Police Department took delivery of 2 new helicopters. They were both used in the presidential debate. We showcased the microwave downlink last year with the new video system. Both these helicopters are with that video downlink. These helicopters provide significant upgrades. Where we were in the Essex County Police Department was with the 407 helicopters that were our historical fleet for a very long time. Based on the regulation, based on the rule, recommendations that we expect to become FAA regulations. We would not be able to fly those helicopters at night once it become a regulation, nor would we be able to do medevacs. That would have resulted in people dying. This body recognized the urgency of these new helicopters, but it gives us a lot of upgrades above and beyond just that. These helicopters can actually deploy rescue tactical teams, 6-man rescue teams, 6-man tactical teams. You can rappel. You can do what's called fast roping for those from the military. Additionally, we can have hoist operations. These helicopters are twin turbines, so they can do offshore searches. We have no height or weight limits on 80 cases that the 407s have. Additionally, if you have a winds under the 407, a 20 mile an hour, 20 knot ground speed would ground the 407s. As a result, these helicopters can fly up to 50 mile an hour, 50 knot winds sustained. They are a lot bigger, a lot more sturdy, and a lot safer. The twin turbine allows one engine to go down and the helicopter continue to fly. This is the gold standard of aviation, and it significantly increased our homeland security, our ability to medevac, and our ability to rescue people. The offshore searches is, the canyons are in Nassau County territorial waters under the 407s. They could not do the offshore searches if something happened out there. The closest Coast Guard helicopters here is Cape May in New Jersey and up in Massachusetts. So it's nothing, there are no Coast Guard assets anywhere near here. The ROOC, the Nassau County Police Department took delivery of a new armored vehicle you approved in November. I don't know if you recall that at the legislative body on the Monday after the Paris attacks. We took this delivery of this new vehicle on Monday. It is already paying dividends. We had a barricade situation where an individual up in the North Shore was barricaded, and this ROOC is a defensive weapon. There is no offensive capabilities. It's an armored vehicle, that's all it is. We rolled off the ROOC in order to set up an armored platform in order to cover the house, and when the person that was barricaded saw that, he came out of the house, and when the detectives talked to him, he said, when I saw that ROOC, I knew it was time to surrender. So that is a true story, and again, this is an armored vehicle. It's designed to provide for the safety and security of the public and our members. It gives us capabilities that we don't have otherwise. I will tell you, we're the first department in New York State to have this piece of equipment, and there are only 18 to 20 in the country. This is something truly special. One of the things that I'm very proud of is this department is always a leader. And this is another example. This is the new domain alert awareness system. You passed legislation last year due to a number of delays. We'll leave for another conversation. This system was finally procured and in June of this year. And unlike a lot of government projects, it's up and running. We are signing MOAs on a daily basis with the schools. So what is this? It's not a panic app. It is a system. And the panic app starts the ball rolling. So if you look at the left-hand side, that's the app. That's what the people will see. And we're rolling it out in all the public schools right now. This is the first phase of this. So you hit that active button. The second you do that, it generates a call, bypassing the entire 9/11 system. Carving, in an active shooter situation, 3.5 to 7 minutes off of response time from the start of an incident. That saves lives. So what happens, and what the 9/11 CV supervisor will immediately see when that button is hit, is the screens on the right-hand side. And if you look at the bottom half of that, you're basically seeing a floor plan. So that floor plan gives the place of all the cameras in the building. It also gives you static cameras of rooms that don't have cameras, static photos, not cameras, static photos. So we have rooms, if we have to go in a room, we know what the rooms look like. Additionally, it gives us control to their controlled access system. We can lock the doors, we can open the doors, we can do whatever we got to do. But it gives us situational awareness, and the last screen that you're not seeing here is all the cameras in real time being transmitted as it actually happens. So this system gives a situational awareness that does not exist anywhere else. There is not another police department in this country that has this equipment. And as I sit here right now, In San Diego, Chief Skrzynecki is presenting this to the Major City Chiefs Intelligence Commanders Committee and the Major City Chiefs Technology Committee, this item, because nobody else has it. And this will, you know, we talk about it all the time in Nassau County. We prepare for the worst, we hope for the best. Ambulances, we took delivery of 7 ambulances this year. And you passed the bond ordinance earlier this year. We didn't waste any time. A PO's been cut for 20 ambulances? I'm sorry, I'm wrong. 23 ambulances. That will start coming in early next year. And basically, what does that mean? That means every single ambulance in Nassau County that we use on a day-in, day-out basis will be brand new. So that will alleviate the ongoing problems that we have. We're also increasing the size of the fleet. Between those two items, that will alleviate the ongoing problems that we run into every spring into the summer, that first hot day, where all of a sudden we have, 10 buses out of service. So that is a huge, huge win for us. And, I, for one, will be happy that I won't get those phone calls anymore. But that is the problem. You should also know that the next year's budget has an increase of AMTs, and the county executive is, after discussions we've had, has directed that we hire AMTs as soon as possible. Police cars, we are rolling out another 80 police cars. 89 marked police cars and 60 unmarked police cars. The unmarked fleet was in desperate need of upgrades. Additionally, we're getting 9 Tauruses for highway. Right now, one of the problems we have is the highway fleet has an average of 160,000 miles on it. The cars with the V6s really are not suited for highway patrol. They got to get up and go. They got to get up and try to chase down cars doing 90, 100 miles an hour on the expressway. And so what we did was we specially ordered 9 Ford Tauruses with turbochargers in those in order to provide them the fleet that they need. Additionally, we have 6 SUVs coming in for K-9. Upgrade to body armor and rifles. Last year we showed you. This year we are right now equipping 24 cars with rifle boxes, and we'll be training the officers. So patrol rifles will be continued deployed as soon as those boxes are in. Right now we're also getting ready to order another 24. So we're going to be looking to get up to about 50 cars in total in the patrol fleet. We have increased the number of patrol rifles very quickly in those units that are out there all the time, CERT and other special investigations, gangs, electronics, narcotics. There's people out in the streets all the time. We got them trained, and now the next phase will be really focusing our energy and effort on training the cops. New records management system. We expect, just because of the holidays coming, we are in a slight delay. The system's pretty close to being finished. Right now we're going through testing, and the next week we start the testing. That'll last 30 to 45 days. And we expect a new records management system. One of those overtime drivers I didn't talk about is the records management system. We expect the new system to be up and operational the first week of February in the first precinct. After a 30 to 60-day shakeout period, we will then roll out new precincts every 2 weeks. With the, hopefully, if all goes well, the first half of next year, the department will completely migrate to the new system. Homeland Security. It's quite apparent that, from a terrorism standpoint, we're in the most dangerous times since 9/11. Director of FBI recently said, out of 1,000 active homegrown terror investigations by the FBI, there are 1,000 homegrown active investigations by the FBI in this country. We participate in the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and additionally, since 2014, 2 years ago, 109 individuals have been arrested in the U.S., and 4 others have been charged in absentia in ISIS-linked cases since 2014. Since 9/11 of 2001, there have been at least 171 plots, jihadist plots, in the U.S., including attempts to join terrorist groups overseas and execute attacks at home. This isn't pulled out of a hat. Every month, the Homeland Security Committee issues a terror threat snapshot that's an open source document. I'm not telling you state secrets. I'm not telling you anything else. It is a major concern for the Nassau County Police Department. You take that into consideration, which is also occurring in this country on top of the terrorist plots, is direct assaults on police and law enforcement in this country. You want to look at Dallas, you want to look at hatchets in New York City and police officers, you want to look at Louisiana. In this country, there has become a ongoing aggressive attacks, direct assaults on police officers. And with that, I would like to just have a few minutes with you in an executive session.